Hey guys, what's going on today?
Hey Scott, thank you for the intro. Hello Jamie, how are you?
I'm doing well, Andy. How's it going over there?
Doing good, doing good. Watching a little Masters while I'm preparing some content today and working on it. Hey Waleed, how you doing? I haven't forgot about your cloud link that you sent me, Waleed. I'll get been busy today, but I'll get back on that tomorrow. You're welcome. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here, taking part of your day and joining us. I think I have some good content. I know we have some good Holly content, and we also have something I will share with you, an alert. I've shared before, but I've kind of tweaked it, and I think you guys will like what I have to say about that. But before we do any of that, let's take care of the disclaimer here, guys. You know, Jamie and I are going to be talking about some charts and setups and things like that, but nothing should be construed as investment advice. Okay, we are doing this for educational purposes only. If you are looking for investment advice, you might want to seek out a registered advisor, stockbroker, somebody who hangs a license in their office. All right, before we get on, you regulars in here, be patient. I want to tell all the people in here, maybe in here for the first time or the second or third time, it's always important to stress how much we value your education, your training, and the support that you receive from us. It's second to none. It's a very powerful software, and it's our job to make sure that you feel comfortable using it. And I promise you, we have the sources to help you do that. The first place to start is the Traders Room. Okay, I know most of you know about it. It's free to everyone. It's a place where you can go and watch Barry's monitor. Basically, he screen shares and you can see the software, and he navigates the market, makes some trades, calls out stuff in real time. And not only that, there's a bunch of good traders in there that do the same. So if you're new to trading, I can't think of a better place to hang out than the trading room. We also, guys, you look over there along the left side, you will see a number of webinars. These are all Monday through Thursday at the 5 Eastern time slot. Most of them are done by a combination of myself, Jamie, or Steve Gomez, but on Wednesday we have a Q&A when we're not having a guest speaker, and that would be Dan Merkin and Brad Williams. That's our CEO and CTO. So they have some very helpful insight on the software and some of the bells and whistles that may be coming around the corner. Great place for a Q&A as well. Friday support session, guys. This is every Friday at 11 Eastern time. It's scheduled for 2 hours. We usually have a good crowd in there. Great place to come and ask questions. It's strictly Q&A. Even if you don't have a question, you will learn something, I can promise you. So don't miss that. All right, and you think that would be enough, but no, it's not. We got TI University. This is every day, Monday through Thursday at 12 Eastern. We start with Beginners 101. And we graduate each day until we finish up with Advanced 401, taught by our maestro, Jamie Hodge. And guys, this is very helpful. It's an hour-long curriculum in each day, and then we open up the afterwards for about 20 or 30 minutes for Q&A. This is also recorded on our YouTube page. If you go find our YouTube page, just type in Trade Ideas, you'll find it, and go to the playlist. You will find TI University in there as well. All right, let's talk one more time about Brokerage Plus. We'll probably continue talking about this because it's such a cool little interface and tool. This came out of a beta at the end of last year. Guys, we got more and more people firing off executions, auto executions every day with this thing. What it is, it's a module to basically help you. Well, it does so much more than automate your trading. You can just do so much with it. Even click on charts and trade from your charts and things like that. So you want to find out more about this, go to trade-ideas.com/beta. All right, let's look at the agenda for today. We're going to do the market recap as we always do, and then followed up by the Holly recap. A couple of really good trades in Holly today, and I was really proud of her. Once again, the market did not give us much to work with, but thought Holly navigated it very well today. So we'll talk about that. And then I'm going to talk about the pullback above 50 alert. You guys have seen that pullback above 50 SMA on my monitor when you watch my these webinars all the time. Well, several months ago, I did turn it into an alert, and I pulled it out yesterday, started playing around with it, and man, the trades coming through there are so sweet. And so I'm going to reiterate this, and we're going to talk more about it. And I'm going to give you some reasons, why I think you should make it, part of your arsenal. And we'll talk about some back tests and some optimizing, and just how to utilize it. So let me back out of this, guys, and we'll pull up the market, and we'll start talking about the SPYs, which we always go to first. And I'm not going to talk long today. You can see what's happening here. We could probably play a recording over the last week of every one of our webinars talking about the spiders, because we're just in that same area on the daily there. We mentioned it back here. You do have some congestion over in here, and it's kind of where we've been kind of sitting at for a while, just kind of bouncing off of it, trying to get through. Every day it looks like we're going to sell off. The buyers come in, pushes it higher. And here we are. And what do you see down here? You see that upward approaching 10-period moving average, the fast line. So possible scenario is, well, we do have earnings season cranking up, so that's going to probably play a big influence on market direction. But it'll be interesting to see, what happens if and when this line catches up with the price. So that would be what I would be watching. If it does break below that, and you got your 20 down here, which is done. It's been pretty sloppy here, guys. There's really been no guiding line as far as this fast line, but it's always good to pay attention to anytime you have it upward sloping and approaching the downside or the bottom side of these candles. But other than that, Jamie, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time, on this, because once again, it's pretty much been the same place for the last 5 days, and we've gone over it ad nauseum. And Q is pretty much the same. IWM obviously struggling to get anywhere near its all-time high. The other averages are much closer. And let's take a look at the Dow, which is not as strong. It's pulled back and can't really get anything going. So may want to keep an eye on the Dow, although I very seldom keep an eye on it, because it's just not enough stocks to really have an impact as far as I'm concerned. Well, Jamie, what do you think, buddy? You got anything you want to add to the SPYs? Or it's just a broken record?
It's just like you were saying, the old broken record.
Uh-oh. I think we may have lost you there, Jamie. Well, he's maybe having computer issues. So what I'll do is I'll take over. I wasn't prepared for this, but I can at least start talking about Holly. Oh, there he is.
It's
yeah, you.
Hey, am I back?
You dropped off for about 30 or 45 seconds, but.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No problem.
My connection's been clean all day, and of course, webinar time comes around, and Murphy's Law goes into effect. But as long as I'm coming through now, I can grab it, and we can talk about some Holly stuff. So
go right ahead. If you for some reason fade, I'll just grab it back and finish out for you. Okay.
All right. Sorry about that, ladies and gents. I thought I had this issue licked, but you never know. Okay, welcome to my desktop. You can see I've got each one of the respective Holly modules full blotters open here. 1.0 up top, 2.0 in the middle, and Neo down here at the bottom. It was good to see Neo come to life a little bit. That one's been struggling as of late, but posted some pretty decent trades today, and some really interesting risk on as well. We had a little bit of risk on from just about everybody today, so got our work cut out for us here. First off, let's talk about this Domo. A couple of different things I like about this one. Now, here we have the, of course, Andy, you know what I'm going to say here.
Sure.
This came from the pullback, or the quarterback, I should say, which is looking for the pullbacks. So we get this nice little orb, this nice little range break here, and then the stock pulls back, 25%, the blue line there, that's where Holly issues the signal. So when you pull this up, you're like, well, I can't speak for everyone, but what I immediately go to is, a nice little range break. Relative volume was decent at that time, and we're getting to buy at this pullback right here. So that's the second factor that I like about this trade, is just broken out. And of course, we can see what it does from the entry line here. Just a nice straight up for the next 15, 30 minutes here. And then we get an even better, I can't say it's a better entry, even better, we get a second entry opportunity if we wanted to leverage this position. This one not coming anywhere near the stop loss. Nice immediate gratification, stops and goes sideways for a little bit. And depending on how aggressive or greedy you might be, once you see these sideways bars occurring here, and they look more pronounced on the 5-minute or a smaller time frame, stock takes a little breather as the buyers and sellers become equal, and then boom, pops out again here and puts in that nice little run towards the end of the day, all the while staying well above that nice little 10-period SMA right there, which is always a good guide when something is in play. And keeping in mind, the volume wasn't outrageous, but hey, sometimes we get these nice plays on regular volume, and this one finished today approximately 40% above normal volume. So just a real strong trade on the Domo, and a second entry opportunity towards the second half of the day there. So some really good risk on there. The EBS, kind of a weird little trade. When I say weird, just a lot of wicks on the tops and the bottoms of this one. But what really stood out is, you're getting the signal pretty much at the low of the day. Now, of course, maybe some of us got it right here or here, somewhere in the wick. But the good news is, once the signal had come out, never really even went back down to the break-even line. We have to kind of squish this up to see the actual stop area, which was way down here, never even came close. But if you took the trade, or you were thinking about taking the trade, and we see this wick, and then we see this next bar right here, even if you didn't get it down here, getting it somewhere up in here and using that wick as your exit could have been a nice way to play this one. And had you done that and gotten past this bar right here, you never really had to worry about too much after that. Kind of an odd little chart on the EBS. I don't think that's an ADR, Andy, but it looks like it might be some type of bio. Haven't really looked into the company yet. Yeah, but in any case, kind of a strange little chart there, but upward momentum nonetheless. And Holly got out on her profit save, and you can see spent only a short amount of time in the trade right here. Entry down here, exit somewhere right around in here. If we go over here to the time, we can see there's only about a 17-minute hold on that one. And Holly exercising profit save, but had we made the choice to maybe do half and half with her, get out for that 15 cents, we could have used the break-even stop on this one, and it would have kept us in for the remainder of the day. So not a bad one there. And then, let's see, a little bit trickier here. This one did get a little bit flirty with the stop loss. Looks like Holly ended up executing that profit save again. Of course, it was more of a flat than a profit. Sometimes we see that with profit save where she loses a penny, or reduced risk where she actually makes a penny, getting in there and splitting up some hairs or whatnot. But just some sideways action, ebbing and flowing, and this is something that we also see around these Holly signals. Sometimes they go straight, like the Domo, even the EBS, but sometimes they're going to gravitate. They're going to push back and forth through this entry line before they finally get some traction. It seems like this one did it most of the day. But once again, if we're sticking to our hard stops, never really got out of that one either, never punched us through. That's definitely good. Doesn't make it any easier in the moment, though, to be sitting in something like this where it's kind of tempting. But, once we got down to this level here, tried again right here. But if you held on to this one for the remainder of the day, you ended up making considerably more than Holly based on a 0 and a 26-cent spread in there. So 3 good examples from Neo. And then we had a couple from 2.0 as well. This is the one you were talking about earlier.
I love that one, yeah.
Also, pretty much the same type of thing that I love to see in these plays here. The FHL kind of looks very similar to Domo on the entry, right? We just had a range break there, a little bit smaller here, the first 30 minutes. This was not a pullback alert. This was the 5-day bounce. So obviously Domo had been coming down to this little support area, and we get that bounce right here. Very nice entry. Happened to coincide just right after another range break, which doesn't always happen, but I really like this when it happens, and we just get immediate liftoff on this one. No flirting with the stop loss, just up, 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 off to the races. And Holly didn't top tick it, but she came pretty close here. So that's why we can see 47 versus 60. She only left 13 cents on the table on this one. So we would have had to set a little bit of pullback, kind of ebbing and flowing right in that 10 period, and then catching the traction for the remainder of the day. And as you were talking about earlier, Andy, this one might be good for a little swing action as well, coming off that 5-day bounce.
Absolutely. Yep.
Tomorrow, if we do get some push up, I guess that 10 period might be something good to pay attention to as well. If we can get back above there, you might have a little 2 or 2.5, or what was it? What was the magic number, Andy? A day and a half?
Well, in a bad market, sometimes it's a day and a half. In a good one, I think you get 3 days sometimes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so good stuff out of FHL there. On the next one, this was a repeat here, EBS. I believe the entry was exactly the same on there, so no need to rehash that one. And that was about all the risk on from 2.0. But then we had a couple to take a look at up here. The FHL was repeated up here in 1.0, same time again. So let's take a look at this Air G, because this is a classic trade around, almost hitting that stop loss right there, but not quite. Kind of the same type of pattern, but this one pulled back a little bit. Notice, this isn't exactly as clean as the others, but that thing, once it did generate the signal from Holly, we buy it here, almost a stop out. We got the 10 period in play here. It starts surfing it, and then what do we have right here? We've got a nice clean range break from this point on. A little choppy here, a little haircut needed. Takes a little pullback, doesn't hit that stop, and then if you took the signal here, you did have a nice chance to leverage that position. Air G was just ripping the volume pretty much all day, finished with relative volume of 14.6, which is nothing to sneeze at.
Oh, man.
You don't see a whole lot of stocks putting in that type of volume on any given day. And then it was just off to the races. So initial lot right here, Holly is going to, pull out, just got bored with the trade, in essence, we could say. She doesn't really get bored, but when it's not working, she does have that option to call the audible. So a nice second tier entry here once you are already in tune with this one from Holly. So it's a good idea once you start to see what might play out here. You see Holly right here, you start to see the rest of the action develop. It's always a good idea. Maybe come over here and set that price alert. Okay, nice statistical weight from Holly to begin with. This one looks like it might hover along sideways and pop out later. So, get in the habit. Once you start to see the ones that might exhibit that nice clean range break, just go ahead and set that price alert. That way you won't forget about it. Of course, if you've got it on the blotter, you're going to be watching it anyway with your P&L. But as long as you're in tune with it, whether it's through a price alert, if you're not in it, or if you're already in it, set those key levels there. And let's see here. Not a bad one here from the SCVL bullish pullback. Entry right here. What do we get? We get a little sideways action. Holly did not pull the plug on the audible this one. This one went for the whole timed exit, which looks like on this one is about an hour. Unless I pull my panel over here. Let's see. 1.0. Let's go take a look. And that was bullish pullback. So 45 minutes. 45 minutes. She made it the whole duration here. But not that difficult of a call. Using that break-even stop on the second lot, a lot of these would have kept us in it today, which is a little bit surprising based on the type of action that we had in the market today, but it is what it is. Getting out a half with Holly and then keeping a break-even stop on that second lot would have been by a hair, but would have kept us in for the remainder of the day and would have gotten to enjoy this sideways, slightly upward action. But hey, nothing to write home about. But an upward move is an upward move, and
Sure.
you got spread in there of 28 cents approximately. So even if you pulled out an extra dime, nickel, 15 cents, well, that's what it's all about. Little bits and pieces here, little bits and pieces there of the spread, and it sure does add up over time. So I thought we were gonna have a couple more, but then realized we had some duplicates in there. But all in all, on a day like today, where we had a little bit of chop, a down move, and then kind of choppy the rest of the day, I'm not disappointed with Holly's performance today.
Not at all.
Not disappointed at all. So that's about all we got from Holly today.
All right. Thank you very much, Jamie. Well done.
And my internet didn't even crap out.
How about that? Yeah. Worked nicely there. All right, guys. Let me pull up here. Well, let me kind of set the stage first. All right. This is one, this pullback above 50 SMA Pro that I've had for years on my screen. And it's a great scanner. It's a great scanner to look for stocks that are putting in what I call a nice setup candle. In other words, well, let me just take a look at the configuration real quick to make it easier for those who've never seen it. All right, so I'm looking for stocks over $5. Okay, the position in the year range, a minimum of 50. That means it has to be in the upper half of the yearly range. Position in 5-day range is a max of 25. If I clicked on the show me button, it means the price is no more than 25% above the low of this range. So we know the stock is pulling back in a 5-day time frame, or at least in the lower quadrant. But it has to be above its 50-day moving average. And here's the kicker, position in range. Okay, so today's range, it's in the upper 25%. Okay, because the price is at least 75% of the low in this range. So that's how we're getting this bullish setup candle, I call it. Not a whole lot of stocks in there today. Oh, there's one very similar to Wing was it the other day. The other day, WIGNG was in here. And look at this follow through after that. The stock that for some reason gapped down and the buyers just bought it hand over fist, closed near the high, and look at the subsequent trading days afterwards. Well, we kind of have another one in here. I'm not saying this is going to do that, but very similar. Gap down, bought it hand over fist. Maybe one to watch tomorrow if this high is taken out. All right. So this is what's called a top list. Okay, it's a scan. You can see stocks freeze in here because I have the setting on live during market hours, which means once the market closes, okay, it stops doing its work and freezes whatever closed in here for the close of the day. It's a great tool for scanning. A lot of times, especially when the market's pulled back for say 2 or 3 days, this thing will just be filled up with great trades. So a while back, I said to myself, well, let me see if I can turn this, into a window. In other words, not have to do a scan. I want to be alerted the next day when it takes out the high of this setup bar. Okay, so let me show you how we do that here. Okay, we use a feature called Collaborate. Okay, we right click, we click on Collaborate, and we copy all. We go to our tool, new, and we do an alert window. Okay, we launch it, and we right click, we collaborate, and we paste all. Okay, so now I just turn this into an A window. Let me put the type in there. Let's see, it's a heart, so let me put the column and type. Okay, you can see this is only showing up as a heart, which means what this is, this was our old way of doing things before we had top lists. What this does, this alert just goes out and pings the market, every so many minutes in looking for stocks that are satisfying your filters. Okay, so it's like I said, it's kind of archaic, and we need to turn this into an alert that will help us benefit from this strategy. So what we do is come in here to configure. We go into search, and we're just going to turn it off heartbeat and put it on a new high. Okay. So now we have turned this pullback above 50 SMA Pro into a window. So now we will, all the filters remain the same that I just showed you, okay? But now we have an alert for a stock that's hitting a high even after those filters are satisfied. So what I'm going to do here, guys, I've already got a copy over here, so I'm not going to work off that one. I just want to make sure I have all the correct settings. When I did it, and here it is, pretty much in its natural form, but I did optimize it. I'm going to show you that even further here in a minute. All right, so this is the alert. These are the ones that this is on. Let me put it on real time real quick. Oh, it is on real time. Good. All right. So what we want to do here is we want to look in here and first we want to back test this thing. We want to see if we have something that we can use, you know, as a back test. In other words, a really good alert. And the way we do that is called back testing. So I'm just going to run it in its natural state. Once again, here are the filters. There's only one that I changed. Okay, and the reason is position in 5-day range. Okay, remember how I said that had to be at 25%? Well, you got to keep in mind now we're looking for stocks on the next day that are hitting a high. Okay, so there's a good chance they would be through that lower 25% band and creeping up. So all I've done really was change the position in 5-day range to 50 versus the 25 it was in. Everything else is remaining the same, you can see. I think I brought the average daily volume just to get more shares, get more stocks in here to view. So what we're going to do, we're going to back test this one just in its natural form. Okay. Right click. We're going to back test strategy. We are going to open it wide open. We're going to do a timed exit. This is a swing trade. Okay. It's going to get out at the open tomorrow plus 3 days. Risk management. We are going to use a 3% risk management. We are going to run it the full 64 days, get as much data as possible, and then we're going to simulate buy. So it's going back and looking at every one of those trades that's come through this window in the last 64 days. Okay, we got a profit factor. I mean, this is pretty good without even doing any optimizing. Okay, we got a profit factor of 2. Okay, for those who do not know, a profit factor is simply your total profits divided by your total losses. Okay, so 2 is pretty good. Now, ours do not factor in the commissions, so I think it'd probably be, you know, less than that. But nonetheless, we can get a good feel for a strategy and how well it's working. Average winner, $1.83, and average loser, $1.28. Not bad. I would like to see that better, but that's still not bad. Winning percentage, 58.2%. Now, there's no way, I've optimized this thing, guys, and when I optimize, I may run 30 to 35 different scenarios with different filter sets and everything. So when I get to the one I'm going to show you, I have no way of retracing and knowing how I got there. So I would love to sit here and go through the steps. It's just, I will do one thing and I'll take it off, do something else, and I'm just moving, you know, just trying all different types of scenarios. So I'm going to show you my filter set, and we're going to compare it to this one. Okay, so there, we'll save that. Let's drop it down, minimize it. All right, so here is the filter set for this one, and now I'm going to pull over. Let me find it. Bear with me. There we go. This is the filter set of the one I'm about to show you. Okay. So price, we've had a change there. This one's using a minimum of $5, and there's no max, so this thing could go up to buy at Amazon if it's set up. Position in year range, all that's going to be the same. Yeah, position in 5-day range. Change in, well, let's start with what we have up top here, daily RSI. Okay, Now, some of these things, guys, you can just think in your head. When you're thinking in your head, it will lead you to filter sets that you can try. So, for example, well, it's not going to let me do that right now. But anyway, I'll show you that in a minute. So when I'm looking at other filters to back test by, there's always something in my head where I'm thinking, you know, maybe this will work. Maybe this will work. Okay. Daily RSI was one of those things. Okay. I said, well, you know, a stock, if it's really pulling back to where I, you know, want it to be, I want it to pull back on the RSI. I don't want it to be near a 5-day low and not moved anywhere. Okay. So I did back test it. Sure enough, the back tester, this was an incredible increase in my profits by using this maximum RSI here of 62. Okay. Another one, spider change for the day. Okay. I wanted to see, you know, obviously, guys, in some markets, it's a bullish reversal pattern. Obviously, it's going to work better in some sort of bull market and not in like a market we had back in middle, pretty much all of December except after Christmas. So sure enough, I ran a SPY change, and this is what optimized the best, and it was, you know, quite good. But other than that, guys, that is the only two. So there's not a lot of filters in here, and that's good. This is what you want. Okay, you don't want to build one where you have just of course, the price I did, I have to optimize the price and time. But as far as adding a whole bunch of other filters, I love it when I can do it with a minimum amount of work. In other words, not go into a filter and chop off, you know, 5 trades here, 6 trades, you know, no, I look for some nice groupings. All right, so let's take a look at this one over here. Let me close this out. And I got 2 things I'm going to show you in this one right here. Just cancel. Let me just minimize that in case we want to bring it back up. All right, let's bring back up the other optimization that I had. All right, this is before it's on, which honestly, guys, it's not bad. But look at the drawdowns you had here. There's some pretty good drawdowns on this one. We're going to see if it doesn't get much better on this one with the filters I just checked. Now let me just make sure and check again and make sure these filters are correct. And daily RSI, yep. Those are the only 2 we just discussed. All right, so let's go ahead and back test this. All right, the optimal time is 10 to 1 p.m. Central Time. Okay, so there's basically a 3-hour window when these really work the best. Timed exit is the same. All right, using everything's going to be the same. Risk management, 3%. Running it to full. Let's go make sure we open it wide open. And summary, and let's run this again. Much better. Much better. That's what we're hoping for. And actually, our average winner, that's what I love to see. Our average winner creeped up 5 cents. Our average loser crept down 7 cents. So we got a nice little spread there. Almost a 64% winning percentage. Notice the drawdowns were nothing like they were in this other one that I showed you, where, you know, your profits actually came back to almost flat at one point. Nowhere near that here. And we got a profit factor of 2.76. We did, look how we cut the trades down. Just by using those 2 filters, guys, we cut the trades down from 2,241 all the way down to 659. That's pretty incredible, actually. Very good strategy. Now let's take a look and see some of these trades. Let's go to history, and we're going to put it on today. And we'll take a look. Let's use, now a lot of trades are coming through, but remember, okay, if you're using this strategy based upon your optimized time, you're only going to be taking trades from 10 to 1 o'clock Central Time. So time is over here. Let's go to about 10 o'clock. And looks like the first one we see there. I'm anxious to see if we're getting some nice little patterns here. Got it down a little bit. All right, how about DOV? That's beautiful. That's exactly what we want that right there. There's our setup bar, okay? There's our high of the day, and I do not know why that's coming out at 95. Okay, that's right. 95, that's kind of a late. Oh, that's because it would have come back through earlier. If I go back down, yeah, we are getting it much earlier. So I was wondering why it's way up here. I forgot. We're not making these trades until 10 o'clock. But that is the kind of pattern. You know, if you're not auto trading this and don't have it set up till 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock, you can use your own judgment. I mean, just because it optimizes best between 10 and 1 o'clock, that doesn't mean you can't get some good calls through here. DOV is a prime example of it right there. Now, if you were auto trading it, maybe you would catch this late because you know you're using the back testing results and you're going to stick with that entry time of no sooner than 10 o'clock. But if you're just using this as a tool, guys, there are some really good trades that are coming through here. There's another good example there. That one really didn't work. It triggered, but it's just kind of in the, still you'd still be live because you're swing trading it. Let's look at some more between. I'm curious at that 10 o'clock level. I tell you, I'm just for giggles, I'm going to run this till at 9 o'clock and see what happens. I can't remember I may have made some change. I can't remember my. Let's just see how it looks at 9 o'clock. And this is the kind of thing you do, guys. When you have unlimited back testing, you can sit here and play with this thing all day. Now, obviously, you're going to get a lot more trades if you're doing it at 9 o'clock. And you see you got 981, but that's still not bad. Not as good as the other one, 2.35, but that's still not bad at all right here. Interesting. Let's look at some more trades. But what I like most about this, guys, is the setup. Now that one would be a better one right there on that day, but it did not see. This day wouldn't have worked because it didn't finish in the upper 50% of its daily range. Oh, that one was a wick up and wick down. Now we're getting late in the day. I don't want to get that late. There's a good one. See, the thing about this, guys, and you're not worried when you're swing trading, okay? You're not worried about getting caught in, you know, immediate down move. I mean, because really, you're using a 3%. You saw I was using a 3%. Another way to use this, a way a lot of people use this kind of strategy is they will use the low of this bar as their stop, okay? I think Ninja Trader has I think it's strategy number 4 or something like that. It's very similar to this. This is how I got the idea to build this. One guy came to me and he started giving me some ideas of what they use, and I just kind of backed into it and built this strategy. But guys, here's what I want to tell you, because many of you are going to get Brokerage Plus, okay? And when you get this kind of results, when you get a strategy that has a 64% winning percentage and a nice little spread there, okay, everything is just spitting out. And honestly, you know, I'd probably, if I were auto trading this strategy, I could go back in and try to optimize, get that trade count more, or I could just cut my dollars, you know, cut them down to, you know, maybe $1,000 a trade, or maybe $2,000 a trade. But here's the idea about gray box trading, and this is where I think a lot of people are missing the picture with Brokerage Plus, okay, and thinking about coming in auto trading highly. If you have a good strategy like this, okay, all this thing is doing for you is getting you in great entries. All of these entries are great. How you manage them, that greatness is going to be up to you, okay? But you're finding good setup stocks that are pulling back, on a 5-day time frame. Then you're getting your trigger above, a certain high, and then how you manage them, guys, is totally up to you. There's another pretty one right there. I had the big tail yesterday. 3M, I think I've already looked at that one. That one's kind of looking like it may do something maybe tomorrow. But you get beautiful one right there. And how you manage these guys is going to be totally up to you. But the fact of the matter is, these are good entries. They're great entries. Okay. Now that doesn't mean you get come in one day, the market opens up, and then all of a sudden it starts getting just smashed, and you see some, maybe you go over, then you cut the thing off. Maybe you don't want to trade it if the market's getting smashed. Maybe you wait for the opportunities that's right. But what I'm telling you guys is, you can have better performance than this, okay? Because you are at the controls. You're managing the risk. When you run a back test and you're using these parameters of where your stop is, a lot of these trades are going all the way down to the stop, and getting stopped out for a 3% loss. Well, if you're managing, you see that coming, you can cut that off sooner. If the market's not right, I mean, it's gonna run the back tester and use your parameters no matter what. But you have an eye on the market at all times, so I think honestly you can get better results than this. So I just want to let people know, build, and I'll share this with you guys, but work on building yourself some strategies that can find you some great entries. This is a great example of doing that, because honestly, when it comes to trading, the entry is the most important part of the trade. Okay, there's some very average traders out there that do well because they know how to find the right entries. Because you find the right entries, and then you're just managing risk. It could be great. But let me. Oh yeah, I'm going to show you one other thing I did today, because a lot of people like to use targets. This is why I don't like using targets. Because when I ran this first today, I said to myself, well, I'm going to use a 6%. Gosh, going in the wrong place. Timed exit, I told myself, risk management, I am going to use a 3% stop loss, and I'm going to enable a profit target for 6%. Nice 2-to-1 profit to loss. Okay, let's run it and see how it compares by not having a profit target at all. It's not bad, but I think this one's going to beat it unless something crazy happened today. There you go. So this was taking a 6% profit, which many people would do. You get 6%, that's good. But letting your winners work for you, letting your winners run by using it, keep staying in them the whole time. You can see here, you had a 2.76 profit factor versus a 2.22. So let's see, would you recommend having bigger stop losses so market makers, Wally, bigger than a 3%? No, market makers they can't touch this. They can't touch this strategy. No, they're looking for people who throw in the 10 and 15 cent stops, or maybe at the open sometimes. Now, if you get into a trade where it's sold off for 2 days and it's down 2% already, and then the market opens up, you might get one of those wicks down. But this is where your management could come into play. Honestly, if I'm in a stock and it doesn't do what I expect it to do and it starts rolling over, a lot of times I will cut at least half of it and not let it run the full 3%. A lot of it depends on so many other variables. Yeah, you're going to learn as you get better in trading that your gut feeling can trump everything. Okay, if things will just not feel right. You've seen stocks act when they're supposed to act correctly and pay you a nice profit, and then all of a sudden they don't. And in certain market conditions, you're gonna become aware that I just don't feel right. I'm out. But it's all about the entry, And if you can have a strategy like this that's going to show you some great entries, then it's all about just, managing. You could have something like this. Let's see, 659. Now, a lot of these trades, this is over a 3-month period. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do 659 and let's divide it by 64 trading days. Okay, so you get basically about 10 alerts a day. Now that's a lot of trades. So if you did run this in auto mode, or at least gray box mode, where you're letting it get you in the trade, you would have to, unless you had a huge account, you would have to manage how much money you could put toward each trade. Or you could go one step further and even optimize it, to maybe bring that trade count down to 300 or 400 versus 600. I'm always careful about getting it too low though, because once again, guys, you get into curve fitting, you get into creating these results, and I don't like doing that. But if you're going to try to create a strategy that, you could always look at time too. Let's take a look at this one right here, and let's take a look at the time of day. See if there's anything. It's on 15. Yeah, that all looks pretty good right there. Price, let's see. Yeah, maybe you could even, saw off a couple of these ones here. Not seeing a whole lot with price either, but maybe if you wanted to, you can chop off a couple of lower price ones, just go for higher price stocks. But anyway, guys, I am going to share this. Do we have any questions about, how we did this? Basically, oh yeah, I was going to show you guys how I got to that when I was doing the optimization. Let me see if I could do. Okay, I showed you price, time of day. This is where the other filters are, and you could come in here, and this is where I found the daily RSI was a good one. Let's take a look at that again, see if there's anything. I'm always going back and looking to see, if any tweaks I can make. But once again, try to limit the number of alerts, filters you use to optimize. Daily RSI, that all looks pretty good. Yeah, not seeing a whole lot there. I've already optimized this. I've just seen if anything was better. All right, guys, let me go ahead and share this. Make sure I got it in the right. Put it back on real time. And what I'm doing, guys, for those of you who are in here, I'm able to share this with any of the subscribers, so they'll have this exact strategy in their arsenal now. So let me find share Sage Cloud, and I'll just drop it in the chat panel. You're welcome, Waleed. Great strategy, guys. If you don't like buying high, chasing highs all the time, these are strong stocks that have a nice daily pattern formation, at least because it has to be above the 50-day moving average. That means it's going to look pretty good on a chart over the last 50 trading days. Okay, so and you're using that 5-day low to assure, or near the 5-day low to assure that the stock is pulling back, and of course that setup bar, you can't beat that. But all right, guys, if we don't have any more questions, I'm going to bring Scott in, or Jamie, or if you had anything to add.
Nope, good stuff, Andy. I like what I see.
All right, great. All right, Scott, you want to come in and walk him out? You guys hang on. He'll have a code for you, a discount code.
Yeah, thank you. So a couple items before we give you the discount code. There's a great ebook. Go to trade-ideas.com/ebook and put in your email address to get a copy, to get the download link delivered to your email. download the PDF. It's got 5 strategies to help you win in a post-BTFD market. Both Andy and Jamie contributed chapters, so do check it out. It's been quite helpful to a lot of our users and fans. We have a podcast. There should be a new episode out tomorrow. Just search for Trade Ideas Podcast wherever you find them, and add us as a subscription, and then you'll be all set to catch the new one, and you can check out back issues. There's a promo code that's good this month, Holly Bunny, all caps. Use it before the end of the month to save 15% off any subscription or Brokerage Plus. It saves off the first month or year. You can also do this to do an upgrade. If you're on standard, plug it in and do the upgrade to premium. Let's see. We're going to have a recording up later on tonight or tomorrow. You get an email reminder from GoToWebinar on how to find it. Email info@tradeideas.com with any of your questions. That goes into our help desk software for our support team to help you out. You can follow Jamie on Twitter at QuantBot. Steve Gomez is at Today Trader. Of course, we have at Trade Ideas and Trade Ideas Pro is how you find us on Facebook to share our posts with your buddies. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Jamie. Thanks, everyone, for attending. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow in the Support Friday.